Okay, and good morning. Today is going to be my Friday installment of code reviews for Apache Spark, and with me today I'm joined by Boo and Wombat, and Carolyn is on the other side of the beanbag chair.
Hello.
I'm not going to turn it around because you're wearing a bathrobe. As you can see, open source developers, very professional, super professional. But actually, I mean, one of the things that I really enjoy about open source development is because we tend to have these very distributed teams, unless I'm doing something like a live stream, I don't really have to put on pants. And that's a pretty good way to start your morning off. Um, so I'm actually excited. I've got a few new people who have agreed to have me review their code live. You don't normally have to have people like opt in to you reviewing their code, but since I am doing it live and I might like accidentally swear or say things which I wouldn't say in a normal, open source code review, I just want to make sure that the people involved are okay with that. And so that's why I'm doing opt-in. But if you contribute to Apache Spark or any related project and you would like me to review your pull requests, please feel free to leave them in the chat box and I will try and get to them. And I think that's about, we're almost at the place where we're ready to start. I'm just going to double check and make sure that everything's actually running. Looks like it is. Okay, cool. We are going to get started. Um, do, do, do. Do, do. So, this is the Spark pull request dashboard. And the Spark pull request dashboard is really cool. For people like me, it's really convenient. It gives us a way to drill down and find the pull requests that we're most interested in. In this case, for example, I think SQL is awesome, and I'm really glad people are working on it, but I am thoroughly unqualified to review most SQL PRs unless they're very Python focused. However, I can see at sort of a glance all of the things that are happening. I can see if the pull requests are merging, I can see if they're passing in Jenkins, and they're ordered by the last time they were updated by default. But we can also look for things which have been lost by sorting by like commit or updated. So I am going to start by jumping in to Python, just because that's a relatively safe place for me to go. I know it more or less like the back of my hand. This is interesting. There are a lot of pull requests from a few users, and they're all at a very high priority. They're all major priority, which is interesting. That's normally a sign that the priorities have been perhaps misassigned, because not everything can be major priority or nothing is. So that's cool, and I tend to ignore the priority column for the most part. Um, so let's go in here though and look for some of the people who have opted in to me looking. Normally I would probably, this one looks like everyone's all over it, so I wouldn't bother touching that one. Although that does sound like an interesting thing. Um, I would be more likely to look at one of the ones where there's not a lot of committers already working on it. Oh yeah, this is the inverse of that. And we can see I was the one person who commented on this, I think. But let's go back into sorting by updated, and we're going to go and look and see if Brian has anything in here. Okay, cool. This is a thing from Brian. It was last updated 3 days ago. It does not currently merge, so that's not a great sign. Normally I'd skip this, but since there's not a lot of people who have opted in, we won't skip it. We'll go take a look at it. This is a work in progress. I looked at it last week and I was hoping it would switch from work in progress to finish. Oh, this is an interesting one as well. PySpark treat param values none, same as not setting the param. And that's one that I've been involved with. And actually we can see, oh god. the last time, this pull request is over 2 years old. And the last time it was updated is 10 months ago. So you can see that open source projects, while amazing, sometimes things can get lost in the shuffle. For example, there are 75 OpenPython pull requests, and while there are a lot of people who look at them, and it's very awesome, there's like not enough, right? And so one of the great ways that you can help an open source project is by reviewing PRs. Even if you're not super comfortable with the code, you can help do things like, say, if something isn't clear enough, and just causing people to refactor their code a little bit to make it clearer can really speed along the process. But we've got this one from Brian, and this one looks like possibly the most interesting, although I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna readjust myself slightly. I think Boo might be out of the shot now. Let's check. Yeah, she is, but it's okay, Boo. Okay, Boo's gonna make sure she stays with me. Yeah.
Like a pirate.
Yeah, I'm like a pirate. I'm an open source pirate. Okay. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit because I'm lazy and my eyes are tired. It's been a long week. Also, my glasses are broken and I haven't bothered to fix them for 6 months. So, okay, well, let's... I love you too, Carolyn. When a row object is created using kwargs, the order of the keywords cannot be relied upon, except in Python 3.5 and higher. Okay. Yeah. Cool. This sounds reasonable. I remember the last time we looked at this, there were a lot of sort of discussion points as to why this was maybe not reasonable. Ah, interesting. It looks like I was last mentioned on this pull request on January 16th. And then... Okay, cool. So this is a thing where Brian just needs to find some time to come back and look at it. And so I'll just say, awesome. Looking forward to the update. Not super exciting. We don't really get to dig into the code because it's just not in a place where it's actually ready. If you know your pull request is in a place where it's like not super ready for review, one of the things you can do to help out people like me and other people who are reviewing pull requests is to put this work in progress title in the title. And so WIP just means like it's not done. You can look at it if you want, and I'd love feedback, but it's blocked on something. And so here, for example, we can see that this is actually fixed in the, or there's a corresponding arrow Jira. It's over here. And it's actually fixed in 0.10.0. So let's find out if the arrow 0.10.0 release has happened. Arrow release. Okay, it's Apache arrow release. Turns out there's multiple meanings of the word arrow, which is totally reasonable. So it looks like this depends on some changes which aren't yet released. They're fixed in master in another project, but we can't use them just yet. So we'll put this one on the back burner too. And this one is interesting. I'm gonna jump down to the bottom and see where. Yeah, it looks like man, we last touched this in 2017. Oh. This was referenced in another pull request removes. Was this merged? Yeah. Oh god. Man. So this is super fun. One of the nice things about open source is that we have a bunch of people that don't really talk to each other a lot developing it. And so sometimes we get 3 different approaches to go about the same problem. It looks like... Okay, cool. It looks like this got merged to master, so we're good. We probably don't have to worry about this. I'm going to leave a comment. Is this PR still needed? Okay. And so that wraps it up for Brian's PRs, or is there? Yeah, that does. For Brian's PRs, so now I'm going to go in and find the next person. Okay, I think that was in MLlib. Deprecate k-means compute cost. Oh, this is interesting, yeah. Had a little bit of a conversation last time. Oh, damn it, it doesn't merge. Oh, that would have been so awesome to be able to merge it today. This one's 218 lines of code. That's probably a little bit too much for me. But that's fine. Why did my phone make a buzzing sound? Okay, whatever. We'll assume it's not overly important. Okay, deprecate k-means compute cost. So, essentially the TLDR of this pull request is that we introduced compute cost as a temporary hack, but because this is software, we introduced a temporary hack and now we have to maintain it forever. So that's great. Or, I mean, it's not great. We should maintain it in case other people need it. And then it goes back and forth. I left a comment because I was a little bit confused. Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. That's a good comment. So essentially I was like, hey, what's up? We could avoid the second pass over the data by just like copying the cluster information which we have in our model over anyways. So why don't we just do that? And the response is essentially like, yeah, we could do that, but no one else needs it. This clustering evaluator is general purpose. It's not just for evaluating this one thing. It's for evaluating multiple things. So let's go ahead and open up the clustering evaluator code. I'm just going to save this so that I can find it later. And then clustering evaluator.scala. Yeah. Get metric name, set metric name. So the evaluate computes this whole, yeah, fucking. So this is confusing though, because this does seem to have a list of cluster IDs inside of it. So, oh yeah. Yeah, so the cluster IDs are coming from the features column. Oh, that's weird. Point silhouette coefficient. Point. So. Broadcast clusters map. Broadcast clusters map comes from target cluster ID. I need to be able to see this occasionally, but it's fine. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so cluster centers, cluster stats, broadcast clusters map value, target cluster. compute silhouette coefficient. Cluster stats. Yeah. Yeah, so where are the cluster stats coming from? Yeah. So this is the feature summation coordinate number of points. Yeah. No. Well, let's see where this is actually being constructed, though. Because that's inside of a... Okay. Compute cluster stats. So cluster stats RDD. Yeah, we'll take the predictions, cast it to a double type. We look at the feature column and square normalize. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go take a look at the code. I have like a fuzzy understanding of how this works. Which is good enough for a code review, I suppose. Whatever. So one thing is, okay, so we'll start leaving some comments here. Use clustering evaluator. That's great. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're gonna add a note here. If we want to consider k-means cost legacy function, let's call it out as such. So new people don't start adding a hard dependency to it. Start review. Yep. Okay, cool. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a hack. It's true. But he's not so bad. I mean, I guess it kind of is bad. Validator seems reasonable. We would expect there's more than one, or we require at least one cluster. Got cluster center. That looks pretty reasonable too. What else? Set cluster centers here. Both the getters and setters are fine. They taste just like the 90s. No, it's okay. My wife is laughing at me for making really bad computer jokes. Because in the 90s, we used getters and setters on everything in Java code, right? Listen, I'm a 90s kid. I need to make my 90s kid jokes, even though I'm actually from the 80s.
I love you. You don't remember the 80s, though. You were a baby.
Thank God no one wants to remember the 80s. Actually, we do have a lava lamp in our room.
That's from the 70s.
Okay, same thing with my 70s glasses. Anyways, we're getting off track. I'm sorry. I'm going to get back to figuring out these cluster centers. Okay, yeah. So we're saying k-means does not support distance. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave a comment here as well. If some models only support some distance measures, we should make that clear in the docs. Yeah, I mean, interesting. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is a little ugly. I see what we're getting at. But it does keep it... if we do go this path, we need to file a follow-up Jira to update Python clustering evaluator. And this is just because we're telling people that it's deprecated and to use something else, but we haven't actually updated it in this PR. And that's okay. Python's often a little bit behind the times, unfortunately, for better or worse, in Sparkland. And so, you know, we'll just let that be a thing. Yeah, I am not sure about this computing the cluster centers thing. It's true. Yeah. I don't know. So, I mean, we have some comments. It's progress. I'm going to bounce this over to Nick, who is one of the ML people. Left some draft comments. Let's see what Nick P, ML Nick, thinks of this. If he doesn't have time, yeah, this getter and setter, which is only used in one of them, isn't like the greatest pattern to have. It's not the worst pattern to have. One of the things, though, is like, you know, when you make a general purpose thing like this, you'd rather not do that. Let's see where compute cluster stats is called. Compute cluster stats. Compute silhouette score. Yeah. If he doesn't have time, that's okay. But I'd like his input. I think after seeing with the new param, it maybe makes sense to not add the param. Sorry. And just do the double computation. Or to not require the param and do the double computation when the param isn't set, so that the distance measure is more like the others. But we also don't introduce a slowdown for folks moving from the deprecated code path. What do you think? Cool. So we leave a comment, and hopefully we'll see where this goes. I'm really hoping this is close. Seth has not had a chance to respond on whether or not this needs a separate training summary, which is fine. The last time I reviewed it, I said that it needed changes, so we can go into the files changed and see if the changes that we asked for have happened. Okay, right, I should also talk through what this pull request is doing. I should also try and get better about updating the review info. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think this is reasonable. Right, so add the number of iterations in clustering summary. This is helpful information to have in evaluating how to eventually modify the parameters in order to get a better model. I think also actually the number of iterations is really useful for people that want to validate models which are running sort of in a continuous pipeline. If the number of iterations I have changes drastically from one day to another, right, my convergence properties are essentially changing drastically, that could be a sign that I have some data quality issues. So I think exposing this information to the user is really important and really useful. That being said, Seth's comment about it possibly belonging in a training summary do make sense. Yep. So that's resolved. This is resolved too. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I am tempted to say that we should tag numIter as experimental, because then we can take it out later if we don't want it. Right, this was the constructor change which we talked about. Let's make sure that it's... Yeah, it's private now. That's great. That's what we'd expect. The tests are in good shape. The MIMA excludes are reasonable. They'll have to be updated. It's one of the places where we frequently get conflicts, but that's not really a big concern. This is looking pretty solid. I'm going to try and take a look at some of the other things that we've got that might expose numIter information and see where they are. And if there's one where, we're already doing it like this, I think we're going to call that okay. So we're going to go into MLlib. I'm going to use my trusty friend grep. Yeah. So let's go take a look at maybe in Word2Vec. Oh, actually, yeah, we're gonna have to. So there's actually two different ML libraries inside of Spark, and I want to make sure that we're looking at the new one because it's what we want to be basing things on. So let's go ahead and look at tree params. No, gradient boosted trees. Doesn't look like it's exposing number of iterations. Iterative rewrited list. Let's go look at generalized linear regression wrapper. Generalized linear regression wrapper. numIter. Yeah, so this is private though. It's getting saved out. And why did we make this class private? I'm sorry, everyone, whoever tries to use this code. We made way too many things private. So let's go search for extends. Or actually, yeah, let's go look at. Yeah, so it's going in the training summary, which is fine. Solver algorithm. used for model training. The data set to be summarized. So I feel like it's okay to put num iter's in the model, but I don't have a really convincing argument besides this feels like it's okay. And since another committer has pointed out that they feel differently, I should try and come up with a more convincing argument besides, why not? I mean, it should be, why not? We did it here, or we did something else similar. Gradient boosted. And that's inside of impl. Okay, cool. Yeah, boosting strategy. Decision tree regression model, yeah. Actually, yay, someone managed to join. Hi, friend. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at what happens in scikit-learn, because a lot of our stuff is kind of vaguely based on that. Scikit-learn k-means, so let's go take a look at this. Yeah, max iter, number of clusters, but I want to find the model. K-means model? No, not quite. Maybe it will show us and what it returns. Yeah, so fit, it's great, but it doesn't show me what it returns. Although, I gotta say, I do like their thing. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and run a quick scikit-learn k-means fit, and then I'm gonna call dir on it to just see what the results are, because I'm pretty lazy. Source, and so I'm gonna have to activate one of my many Python environments, PySpark, pyenv bin activate. Should have sklearn installed, I might not. Looks like I don't. Pip install, sklearn. So just take a second, and this is just, I want to see where they're putting their num iteration stuff, if they've nested it inside of something else. Cool. White space matters because I'm working in Python temporarily. Cool. Dir k-means. So k-means, oh, cool. Awesome. Cool. That's a great question. I'm going to finish up this k-means part of the code review, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into Spark Testing Base, which could be a really good sort of place to figure out how to do some testing. And we've also got some code reviews that we can do there as well. So we can see here that we actually, in k-means, we have an iter 0. Oh, that's interesting. N iter. One would expect at least one iteration of k-means. So that's weird. Unless the initial cluster was completely legit. That's... okay. But whatever. That's a question for k-means land. We're gonna go look at sklearn linear regression. And we're going to see if they also have an iter in here as well. Do they have an iter? Or, yeah, sample weight. Yeah. That doesn't really give me what I want. Okay. I want to go look at their code, but I'm also really lazy. So, I mean, here's the deal. Let's go into this pull request and meow. Hey. So we need to update this for the changed mima excludes. Yeah. I think it's okay to include this in the model directly if no one objects in the next week or so. Ping. Week or so, it matches the sklearn return type. The sklearn returns. It matches. Okay, yeah, no. sklearn has this directly in the model returned as well. Cool. So that's cool. Hopefully we can get this updated, and then we could maybe like merge this pretty soon. Hopefully Seth agrees with me, but I don't know. Cool. So we are not going to bother looking at this one. It's got two conflicting things. It's from November. Yeah, it's just probably not going to be worth it. I'm going to see if Cody has anything as well, because Cody said I could look at his stuff as well. So let's go. Boop. Yeah. Doesn't look like he has any open pull requests, I don't think, but I'm just going to go in here. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, which is totally fine. My phone is buzzing a lot, but not overly important. Okay. So that's pretty much going to be it for the pull request inside of the Spark project today then. We've sort of exhausted the open pull requests from the people who've explicitly opted in. Seth is okay with it, but we probably wouldn't be able to make a lot of progress with his open pull requests is what he said. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into a related project, which leads in nicely to the questions of how to do testing for this stuff. And so we're going to look at this Spark Testing Base project. And if you're interested in sort of seeing how it works, since it's a project for writing tests, probably the easiest thing to do is to go look at the tests. So here's like a sampled structure streaming test. And we can see it's pretty simple, relatively speaking. The other one is, we'll go into 2.0. That's ML. And so this is, I want to explain, this is organized in a bit of a strange way because Spark Testing Base is compiled for multiple versions of Spark. And that's not a normal thing to do for a library. It doesn't make a lot of sense to normally do for your own code. You normally maybe target one version of Spark, maybe two. But this tries to target everything from 1.6 forward. And so there's a lot of different directories which get included in different parts of the build, which is why the organization is a little weird. But you can see there's actually something pretty cool here. There's this sample dataset generator test. It's kind of neat. The other one that we can see, we're going to go, actually I'm going to hold in testing Spark. I have a YouTube video, or I should. Hold in testing Spark YouTube. If I don't have a YouTube video. Okay, so there's one from March 23rd, 2016. It's here. I'm going to leave this comment in the chat. I think I click in here. I think this is the one that we're doing today. One option would be to look at. Cool. There we go. And okay, we're also going to close this. This is a little out of date, but it's not that bad. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to update what we're looking at to be Spark Testing Base. So let's go and do this. Do you want Wombat? Wombat's a little upset that she's not in the shots. Anyways, we give our stuffies well, we don't give our stuffies personalities, but our stuffinalities have personalities, and I have a lot of coffee. And these things may or may not be related. But actually, like if you're if you're interested in sort of getting involved with making testing tools, Spark Testing Base is always looking for more contributors, and I am continuing to look for other people that I can make committers on Spark Testing Base because I am really lazy. Cool. So that's a good point. We do have version 09, so let's go ahead and approve these changes. Thanks for the reminder. Thanks for updating the README. We're gonna go and we're gonna merge these. Squash and merge. Yay! Update. We're gonna README to cool. There we go. Done. Yay! Okay. This one opened 29 days ago. I'm sorry this has taken so long for me to get through. Cool. And I've been meaning to come back to it. There was a note from 8 days ago, so I'm a little slow. Yeah, so as you can see, right, there's like 11 open pull requests for Spark Testing Base, and for Apache Spark, there's 517 open pull requests. And, that results in sort of this feeling of dread and overload versus this like mild feeling of dread and overload. Because I'm not going to review all of those 11 pull requests, and there's no way I'm going to review all of those 517. But okay, cool. Seems good. Seems good. The main thing here is I wasn't sure the code was doing what I wanted it to do, so I really wanted to see a test so that I could see that it was doing what I thought it should be doing, and so that's great. Test RDD size generator nodes. Cool. That property is Oh, I wish there were comments inside of this property. Okay. I wish there were comments on what this property was checking for. Start a review. It's just because I'm lazy, and I know future me is probably going to be even lazier than current me. And if current me can't understand what's going on, that's not a good sign. So we take the RDD and we filter. Oh, cool. Yeah. Filter here. Yeah, what the hell does this test look for? RDD filter. Oh, value take one is empty. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. This makes sense. This makes sense. Actually, yeah, this looks pretty fine. Yeah, okay, these tests actually look pretty good. The main thing is I need more coffee in the morning. Yeah, this is actually really awesome. Cool. I'm really excited with this. So, I mean, if it seems like I'm going through this pull request really quickly, I am. We've gone through this in previous weeks as well, and we've gone back and forth. But we can do a quick walkthrough, and that's a good practice to do before we merge anyways, just to like make sure that things are actually where my brain thinks they are, because sometimes I write code in my sleep, and it turns out the code that I write in my sleep doesn't ever actually go into a pull request. It's kind of bullshit. Generate a sized RDD. Cool. Yeah, and so this is just a little bit of refactoring so that we can have access to the size inside of it. Yeah, you know what? It's 11:46. I'm not gonna go through this in a lot of detail. I'm sorry. This one's looking pretty good though, so I'm gonna say, this looks good. Would like a few more comments inside of the tests, but if you don't have the time, I'll merge it as is end of next week. Thanks for sticking with this through my kind of slow reviews. Cool. And this is just like, this looks cool. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say approve. I would like a few more comments. They're optional though, because it turns out I just really haven't had enough coffee for when I was reading that test. So that's pretty exciting. That's cool. Ooh, fix. Oh crap. February is not that long ago, right? Right.
It's like a month and a half.
Yeah, it's about as long as it takes me to respond to an email. That's okay. So that's fine. Cool. Okay. Why would we compare oh crap. Yeah. Oh, and this. Okay. So one of the things which I should probably turn off is I have this thing which checks for code quality, but it's kind of bullshit, and so it marks almost everything as a failure. I have it turned on mostly for myself, but like I don't really care about it for other people's codes. Cool. Fuck. I should have merged this a long time ago. Yeah. Actually, okay, cool. So, let's see here. Oh yeah, this just unified it. So that, oh, yeah, that's actually really nice. I'm gonna go ahead, review changes, approve. Looks good to me. Sorry this took so long. Life has just been super busy. Boop, boop. This is awesome. So essentially, we'll go back into this and we'll talk through why this looks good to me. This takes assert data frame equals and just says this is really just a special case of assert data frame approximate equals with no tolerance. And that's true, and that gets rid of a bunch of code. And the best code to maintain is no code. So I love that. This is great. I'm super excited. We're just going to go ahead and merge this. I'm going to have a little mini party. It does say that the amount of code coverage has decreased because we took a covered code path and we just got rid of it. So the average has gone down a little bit. But that's fine. This is actually progress. And also CodeCov kind of doesn't handle multi-Spark projects super well. Nothing does for pretty good reasons. Okay. Squash and merge. Confirm squash and refactor data frame suite. Yeah, all in all, love this. That's great. Really excited to put this in the next version of Spark Testing Base. So thank you so much for this pull request. That was super easy, super fun, much happiness. Cool. Yeah, no worries. There's no stupid questions. Just like not enough coffee. What's going on? Or I'll wait for the question. And I'll keep reviewing some stuff. Oh, cool. Yeah. So the question is, can I ask if I can see the change which reduced the number of lines in the code? And yeah, so we'll go back into that. I just merged it. So we're going to go into the commits. Ooh, super great. I just go and click on this thing. Yeah. So the TLDR is, it got rid of all of this code here, right? And that's because there was a really, really similar version of that code a little further down called assert data frame approximate equals. And they just added an explicit equality check and then this approx equals with a tolerance of 0 as a fall through, but since the tolerance is 0, it doesn't really matter. And so essentially, I had some copy pasta code, which I probably should have not written in the first place. But, we don't always write perfect code the first time around. I certainly don't. I mean, at least this code worked, right? Or actually, I'm pretty sure there were some bugs in it when I first wrote it. But, so that's great. And this actually simplifies things a lot. So yeah. This got rid of, I shouldn't say a lot. This got rid of 18 lines of code. But that's, 18 lines of code in a small project is non-trivial, and especially when you have essentially logic that's duplicated, getting rid of duplicated logic just makes your life a lot easier. Especially because we have some other things coming up around improving the schema comparisons. So if we can get that done, we'll be good. Cool. Let's go back into Spark Testing Base pull requests. Do I want to do that? I'm kind of lazy. What's in here? Add data frame comparison without order. Oh, that would be really good to do. And I haven't looked at this. Cool. Awesome. I'm glad that helped. Data frame should be equal with different orders of rows. This sounds pretty reasonable. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, cool. Wait, I'm confused. Do we already have this? Assert data frame no order equals. Assert empty expected except. Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, cool. Love this functionality. However, I think it won't handle duplicate elements super well. If we look at the documentation for except on data frames, actually they're called data sets now. Let's keep with the times, the hip kids. So normally I personally don't actually look at the documentation all that much. I tend to look at, what the fuck do I look at? I look at the source code instead, just because I've spent too much time there. But if I'm going to link someone to a thing, I'm going to link them to the API docs, because that's like a lot more reasonable thing to do. Cool. Accept. Cool. Equality checking is performed directly on the... Yeah, that's cool. Except not especially. Yeah. So this doesn't actually say that. It's a little vague. But we can test this quickly. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fire up the Spark shell. Oh, fuck, I probably don't have a... Oh, wait, yeah. Downloads. I'm going to use a downloaded version of Spark rather than one of my hacked up versions, because I never know what state my Spark repo is in, because I tend to do a lot of really, really bad things to it. My wife has offered to get me more coffee because she's literally the best person I'm sitting on this foof with. I love you! No.
You still have coffee.
I don't. My coffee's cold, so it makes me sad. But I'm pretty sure I drank all of the coffee. Do you want to grab me a jolt?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there's a question on some pointers on Scala code coverage. So I'm going to finish up this part of reviewing this pull request, and then I will come back to that. And Carolyn just got me some Jolt Cola because she loves me. Do you? Yeah, I love Jolt Cola. I love you.
I love you. I love Boo.
Yeah, everyone loves Boo. Okay, sorry, I got a little distracted by the Jolt Cola. And it's getting close to noon Pacific time. And I've got a meeting at 12:30. So I'm gonna try and power through this on the faster side. Cool. So we're just going to make a list which is like this, yeah? And then we go ahead and we go like this, yeah? And then we go ahead and we do, okay, yes. Session dot, is it session? Oh no, it's called Spark. Every notebook different. Okay, yeah, and then we go here, repo Spark, control XT, Spark, session, dot Scala. Okay, yes. Create data frame. Yes, good. Good, good, good. And we can see there's a version that takes just a sequence, and the list is, oh yes, val df1, create data frame is going to be boop1. Okay, cool. This should not take so much time. This is not a good sign. Something weird has happened. Okay, okay. df2. Okay, yes. So df1. And so the actual code here is, how you say, df1.accept. df2.collect. Cool. And then we go ahead and we go this. Yeah. Cool. So I'm going to copy and paste this stuff over. Then get rid of the parts where I typed Spark wrong. Insert code. And it's actually, fuck it. It's noon, and I've got a question that I want to answer too, so we'll just leave all the typos in for all its glory. Add a single comment. It's cool. I'm going to go ahead and leave a note that's just like, yo, thanks so much. Thanks for your contribution. Sorry it's taken me so long to get around to reviewing it. Left a comment. Left a comment. I think we could do something with group by and counts for each element, maybe. What do you think? Cool. That's awesome. So some pointers on Scala code coverage. This is a little annoying because most of my projects are kind of weird projects where I do things that you wouldn't want to do for Scala code coverage, which is why CodeCov here is so confused. CodeCov is actually pretty good. I think it's a really good tool. So even though it's not super great in Spark testing base, we can go ahead and we can look at our CodeCov report. And we can see it's got both Scala and Python. The code coverage is a lot higher than 69%, but it's all right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump into SRC main. And we can see, yeah, it gets really confused that there's this like 1.4 directory that's not really being included in the build and stuff like that. And this 1.5 wrapped confvar.sc. I don't know what the hell this shit is. What is this code? Is this used anywhere? Oh, god damn it, it is. Okay. Okay. We should add a test for this at some point. I totally will. It's super annoying. But you know, CodeCov is a pretty good thing if you're on GitHub to sort of see what's going on. And inside of my actual build files, yeah, I think it's Scoverage or something like this. It might be inside of plugins, project. Plugins.spt. Yeah, so I use Scoverage. I should actually see if there's a new version of Scoverage to update to. That's a good point. Just sort of while I'm here. This project is super useful. We can see, yeah, 1.6 snapshot is this latest one. So there is a 151. Probably no harm in updating to that. So let's actually go ahead, go into Spark Testing Base. And, oh, shit. Git checkout master, git pull, git checkout -b, update, Scoverage.
Did I break your cake?
No, it's okay. I think it's still actually, let's double check that it's still working. Yeah, it looks like it's still working. Cool. Super happy fun times. Okay, so I'm gonna update Scoverage to 151. Probably no harm in doing that, and maybe even it'll actually start giving me more accurate coverage reports. So that would be really exciting, because right now they're kind of not great. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a branch because I don't actually feel like compiling it locally, because that tends to overwhelm the CPU on my poor little laptop and then make the live stream go all kind of wonky. But this is actually a good point. One of the projects that I do maintain is like Spark project template.g8. And so actually we can look it up here. Spark project template.g8. And so if you're just like looking to bootstrap a new Spark project in Scala, you can just go ahead and run this, and it'll give you a new Spark project. And I should also probably update Scoverage in it as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Checkout-b. And I made this project mostly because I got tired of... Oh, shit. Git branch. Update Spark version. Spark SQL to follow. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and check out master, and we're gonna make a new branch here really quickly. 'Cause I'm super lazy. Yeah, cool. Make a pull request. Sorry, this went from code reviews to me just fixing random things that I noticed in my own software. But that's kind of life. Okay, cool. I tend to get distracted pretty easily, as pretty much everyone who knows me will vouch for. Update Scoverage and child project to 151. Let's see if we have Scoverage in the parent project. Yeah, we don't. That's fine. And this will give us two little quick pull requests. Update SQL version tracking. Whatever. Create pull request. Go back into the other pull request. New pull request. And it looks like for some reason my git push is just taking a little bit of time. There we go. So we'll go back here. It'll probably have the nice little happy button for me. And I won't merge these until CI passes, but CI will probably pass. And this is probably a pretty good stopping point for today, unless anyone has more questions, because I have a coffee meeting at 12:30 to talk about the work that we're doing towards the talk that I'm going to be presenting at JupyterCon. And so if anyone's in New York in August, come and see this talk. And if anyone happens to be in Berlin, I will be there next week for Berlin DataWorks, talking about Spark with TensorFlow and some Beam stuff, which I'm really excited about as well. Cool. Yep. That's pretty much it. Want to ask something about the next video? please go right ahead. Would love to hear questions. There is another. The next one that I have scheduled right now is this end-to-end. And let's see if I go into my events page. No, I don't need to watch my own live stream Twitch. Thank you very much. And you can follow it on either Twitch or in the YouTube, and it's Learn to Contribute to Open Source with a focus on Apache Spark. And it's going to be just before PyData London. And so I'm going to be focused on making a PySpark pull request to sort of walk people through the process. Yeah, I will definitely try and talk people through the design exercises that I do. Since we're going to try and do it end to end, it's probably not going to be a super complicated PR. I'm probably going to pick something on the easier side that hopefully doesn't have too much in the way of design decisions going into it. But I do have another sort of more complicated one, which I'll probably come back to in January, February, March, April, May, end of May, with like a more complex design, which I'll talk everyone through. So thank you all for joining me this Friday. Next Friday, I won't be doing this. There's a sort of personal conference that I'm going to be going to with my wife. But the following week, on April 26th, I will be doing this sort of Learn to Contribute to Open Source focus on Apache Spark. And I might squeeze in a little bit of just live coding next week, not like particularly event-based, just, if I happen to have some time. So if there's anything that you'd like to see, or if you're an open source developer and you'd like me to review your pull requests or anything, or you want to see something else, just please email me. And yeah, have a wonderful weekend, y'all. I don't remember what the magic control key is to stop this. Oh, I think I can press Control 3.